for the structure project. So for those of you who are particularly interested in building something with the ShopBot, this will be of great interest to you. So we'll be creating a structure piece, and I'm going to tell you a little about it. So, I don't know if everyone's working in teams, but okay, so the teams we working with the structure project is basically going to be creating a public installation somewhere in City Heights. But it's kind of daunting to just plop that generic prompt on you, so we've kind of set some sort of themes and interesting ideas that we think would be interesting to incorporate, and also allows for you to put your input, whether it's like your ideas, your perspectives, your artistic contributions. So, again, the project's a large-scale public art sculpture created by you.
Horrible things, large-scale public art structures in view.
So I just grabbed this off Wikipedia. It says public art works. What is public art? Any work of art in any media that has been planned and executed with the specific intention of being decided or staged in the physical public domain, usually outside and accessible to all. But the main things that popped out to me while reading it is it's site-specific. There's usually the community is really involved, and there's collaboration between the residents who live there or some sort of commentary on the place. It's not just like, well, it's usually that's how it works. Okay. So when I think about public art and the function of public art, I think about, well, what's the point, and if something's site-specific, why? So if I wanted to put like a huge pillar in the middle of the road as an art piece, I'm going to have a good reason. So maybe I want to do a commentary on
Pillars.
No, this isn't a good example.
Barriers to transportation?
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I was thinking about is, when I bike, there's these huge, like, bumps on the road, but when you're on a bike, it's very different than when you're on a car. So if I'm going at high speed and I hit this bump, then I can go flying. And the equivalent is if you're in a car and you just, like, hit this massive pillar thing. So in some sense, that would be my strange take and commentary on, like, there's something wrong with this place and I'm sad about it or something. Or it can be beautiful and wonderful. Like, what's something good? Are we looking at anything public art wise? I know some. Oh, there was this one performance public art installation where this artist basically gathered and collected trash that came to shore for months at a time, and then I think 6 months after they launched it back into the ocean. So it's this weird commentary on how, like, oh, well, we're not really, it's like taking what's already there and bringing to attention, like, the immense scale at which the problem exists. So our focus is City Heights, and we want to think about, well, what is this place, and how do we make people think about this space? What's important about the space? How do we bring attention to why, like, yeah, the importance of the space. So this is like my little animation. You can't really see it. So it's like, here's this little person just, you know, ho-hum walking around, and say this is City Heights. But when you give this person some sort of interesting stimulation, so this might be like, oh, like, this place is full of culture and diversity and intense, interesting things, then you're bringing light to this, to this person about, like, oh, like, I'm in this place and there's, like, lots of meaning for me to think about, and think about the values and all the great things happening here. So, to ground my conceptual kind of jabber into more examples, the light's really bad in here. Here are some shadow sculptures. Oh, well, okay, so I guess I should segue into more. So we want to do something outside, but we kind of want it to be, like, not so, we kind of want to use kind of the resources that are already available. So we want to work with light and maybe shadow as one of the conditions which maybe we want you to incorporate, whether it be aesthetics or like structural soundness of it. I mean, this is making sense. Okay, so here's one. It's actually a number of artists. I don't know if it's a movement or something, but they got just a whole bunch of trash, and then and it looks like a pile of junk, but when you shine light on it, it casts this perfect silhouette of these scenes and scenarios. I think it's kind of inspiring in terms of like you can make something very incredible out of things that's seemingly nothing.
Did you get the rest?
No. So this is a main piece that we, as in me, Katie, Fabiola, Sivan, were very interested and inspired by, and maybe, and I want to show you guys, because this is definitely within our means of what we have in mind. There you go. So this is, I don't know if you can see. So basically, this is kind of, oh, maybe you can't see it all. Okay. So basically what happens is, it's like a sundial poem. So you can't see on this screen, but as the sun moves, there's perforations in each of these walls, and done so well that at certain times of the day, they'll cast shadows of this poem that this artist decided to do. I'll have more pictures in the next slide.
Do you have any pictures that actually show the light on the ground, or should I try and mess with the contrast on here?
Well, I'm going to see if it shows on the pictures, and then if not, then...
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, so yeah, there's this person's sketch. So really, this is what it kind of looks like. There's all these holes in these panels, and as the sun moves around like this, there's different words coded in each panel, and the poem changes over time. So, so here's the actual sequence that she had. So you'll see from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. it went from people are, listen people you are, people wherever you are, listen people wherever you are, listen wherever you are, listen wherever you, listen wherever, listen. And so there's these similar kind of progressions that happen for each panel. And it's like visually very poetic and beautiful. So yeah, you can see, maybe even showing on these screens would be better. Yeah, so at different times you can see those white, it seems like projections, but that's just the sun filtering through the holes on each of these panels.
So some of these holes are blocked and some of them are open, and that's what's being spun there. But where is
Do you want to show the video?
Yeah.
Oh, the video's on the,
This?
well, go to the main, just click on experiential typography.
Can I go full screen?
I don't think so. So for those of you who can see the screen, you can see this time lapse. And so with every hour, it rotates and shifts into new text, and it's cool because it kind of blends and bleeds. And you create something that's already, like it's playing, how would I explain it? It's kind of playing off of this natural process already happening, so it's kind of low intensive, so you're not like building this elaborate thing, it's creating something beautiful from what already exists.
And not only does it change throughout the day, but also throughout the seasons. So in fall it's going to be showing different poems, or it will be projecting on a separate space. And in spring it's going to be maybe opposite of that. We're not sure how, do you know? But it definitely changes throughout the year.
Well, how could we guess that works? I mean, the sun obviously takes different paths through the sky depending on the season, right? So during the winter, it's lower to the horizon. Does everybody know this? So as the sun travels across the sky, during the winter it's lower than the horizon, and during the summer it goes higher up in the horizon. So the angle of the light that's hitting us is different depending on the season. So if it's at a lower angle, and we set up a bunch of holes to line up in a certain way, the light's going to travel through those holes only when the light is lined up correctly. Did you guys ever see the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark? Who saw Raiders of the Lost Ark? You guys, this is the wrong generation.
I know, I was gonna say that.
Hey,
so.
come on. Be nice.
Aw.
Yeah, Ben, you saw it. That's awesome, right? But there's this one scene where he's like in this underground cavern, and there's this one time in the year when the sun lines up perfectly with a hole up in the roof, and it shines exactly on a map. So it's kind of the same idea. There's this one hole. There's this series of holes that during a specific time of the year, it lines up with a specific set of holes that creates a pattern that we see as words. So depending on the height of the sun, the altitude that the sun is going through the sky is what I would imagine. I don't really know.
So what was interesting about this project is the fact that it's very simple. It's just text and then holes in wood. I mean, to dumb it down. But yet you can have just such a beautiful end product, and it can be very meaningful. So in a similar way, we kind of wanted to show you this as an example of, like, here's a challenge for you. If you were to create a public art piece, perhaps inspired by this one, what words would you use? Like, what would you say to describe this place, what it means to you, what value you get from it?
Lunacy.
Maybe lunacy.
Do it by the light of the moon instead of by the sun.
Yeah. No.
It's a suggestion.
So we want to kind of take you through the design process of, like, okay, if you are really interested in this project, if you're interested in this project, what are the first steps? What should we do? So I decided to go into just break down the design process and maybe how this artist, Jian Song, went about it, because it definitely doesn't seem like an easy endeavor. So I have this design process: sketch, prototype, test, modify and improve, and then you have your final product. And of course there's a bajillion little baby steps in between.